Yeah, good to see. Now I am started recording. Okay. Yeah, so wsadmin is having several options. Out of that, help is fine. Then after that, command line you can give, and then you are going to have the profile, which profile you want to connect to, and then you have the file option. -f is the script name you can give. Then it is going to execute that particular script. It's optional, all square brackets. That's why it's optional. So if you give -f, it will take, otherwise it will directly use that -f option. And Java options also available, that to make if your script is taking too longer time, or if it is occupying much space, you want to give some Java options like memory arguments. You want to provide more memory for the heap execution, and then you can specify Java options here. Language option, already there are two choices for us, Jcal and Jython. So here, if you are going to give -j, this default one is Jcal. So Jcal is default scripting language for wsadmin interface. And then wsadmin class path, if you want to load some jar files into your customized jar files, if you want to load, then you can give that option -wsadmin underscore class path, and then class path, whatever you want to specify there. Okay, so the profile more or less, what is a profile. So this one, I just want to stress this connection type. So this is normally used whenever you want to connect from your wsadmin to your existing running environment, WebSphere environment. The cell is already existing and it is running, then we'll go for the SOAP option. The connection type SOAP is the default one. Other options are there: RMI, JSR, 160 RMI, IPC, none. So RMI, when you are using this wsadmin script from a remote machine, your WebSphere cell is running somewhere and you are connecting from some other machine, then you are going to specify connect type RMI or JSR 160 RMI. So both will do same kind of function. And IPC, IPC for C type of programming. It is not for Jython purpose. So if you are using Jcal, then you can go for the IPC. None type, that is what yesterday what we need. So whenever you have started wsadmin, it is directly connecting to SOAP and asking username password. To ignore that one, it should not ask every time. Then you are going to use connection type none. Okay, so these are all the options. And currently I'm using one small script that what I have prepared yesterday, right? So the same, so print hello world. There's two ways of defining a comment. You can use hash symbol in the first character, 0th column. If you are making space, it doesn't allow. If you are starting a print statement, this uses indentation. Yesterday it was like this. So it is giving syntax error. When I remove this one, the problem is solved. And you can make multiple lines into comment. So if you start triple quotes and if you end with the triple quotes, then that will become one block of comments. Okay, so just for example, I'm giving this
After
one.
the pound is implemented, right?
Sorry, Venu, I didn't get you.
After the hash symbol is implemented, right?
After the hash symbol, you can give spaces, you can write anything. The hash symbol should start at 0th column.
Okay.
And
But at the end, it should be ended with the triple quotes, right?
see, hash is used for one line comment. If you want to comment multiple lines, then you can use triple quotes. It may be double quotes or it may be triple quotes. Sorry, it might be single quotes 3 times.
Okay.
Got it?
Mhm.
You can write anything in that lines, or if you have some code and you want to make don't use that lines, then you can use the triple quotes. So this way you are going to enable. So whenever you are using this triple quotes also, it should touch the 0th column. If it is not having a zeroth column, again you will get the syntactical error. So I tested this one. So whenever it is having not column 0, then it is giving the error. So here I have given wsadmin -f, the path of the file, and then connection type none. I'm not getting the username password again and again asking that one. Prompt is not coming for me. Okay, so why it is not coming? I'm using connection type none. So there are two things. One is connected, another one is non-connected or offline, you can say. So here this script is executed offline. One is online, another one is offline. Online is always uses SOAP or RMI, two options. Okay, so if you are using a remote connection, definitely you can go for the RMI or JS or RMI. So that options you can test. Fine. This is the first program we have executed, and then just having a brief idea about what are the advantages compared with the Jcal. Jcal is deprecated 6 onwards. So WebSphere actual software developers, they are specifying that you please go ahead and use the Jython. Jython is flexible when you compare with the Jcal, and it is object oriented. So Jcal is a little bit more towards C type of programming, and it is having limited scope, whereas Jython is having two options. One is just like programming language you can use, and plus you have the capabilities of scripting also. So that's why it is better than Jcal. Okay, so sometimes Jcal script is very small, whereas compared with the Jython sometimes, but not every time. So but if you compare with the reusability, flexibility, that is given by Jython. So these are the three important points you can compare with the Jcal and Jython. Okay, so we'll start variables and start using them. So variables, data types, in any language, these are the common things. So data types, you don't need to define. So I'm going to use the same strategy how you are going to do in the normal programming language. So that you can easily understand or easily start using them, and then we'll get into our actual scripting. Okay, so the basic understanding about variable, whenever you create a variable, it is going to have a identity. This is going to have a name, and it is going to have the value, and it is going to have the type. What type of it? Okay, so suppose I'm going to use one variable x. This variable, the variable name, whatever I'm using x, that should be treated as label, and it is going to associate with value, and that is going to have an ID that is nothing but your memory address in the JVM. Why I am saying in the JVM is your wsadmin is running on top of one Java program. I'll just show you. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Um, if you look into your ps command, when you run the ws admin, then in the another terminal you just run ps command and check. So it will be a Java program. This wsadmin.sh is actually running one Java program. Whenever it is running a Java program, it is nothing but a JVM. Okay, so in the JVM you are going to have this memory address. So we can have one small sorry, can have one small example how this wsadmin is going to work. Wsadmin connect type taking too much time. Right. So when you're using this WS command, first it is showing one help. So this help is actually Jcal help. How do you know? The help symbol, it is the help is showing here $help. $help is in Jcal. Okay. So if you want to come out, you can say exit. Um, yeah, you can exit. Then if you want to specify Jcal, you want to use Jython lang. You are saying Jython, right? So while it comes, we'll just go into the next point. So here, whenever you create the variables are created with names. The name should be the namespace or name. This names, variable names, you are going to say identifiers in some languages. So these identifiers, whenever you are using, it should not be used as a keyword. Okay, so how do you know what are the keywords? So it's a very simple. You can just say import keyword dot kw list. This is defined list. So list is nothing but some same kind of data you can store as heterogeneous data you can store into your list. So this variable is by default is available in wsadmin. In Jython, it is available. Okay, so here now you can identify print help.help. This is how we are going to have in Jython. Okay, so you can get all the help. You can use the print command. Help is object, your API object. Help is a function. So whenever you are using this way, you are getting
But
all
in
the function.
document-oriented programming language, we call it as a method, right?
Correct. Help is object. In the object you are having help is a method.
Okay. So here we were calling it function.
Yeah. So here object then related with that function, that is your method. So you can use like that. You can use any of our API objects, admin app, admin config, admin control. For any object you can just put dot help method, it is available. Okay.
So let's say admin app. So
Yeah.
admin app dot the function. We need to know what functions are available in this object, right?
Yes, you can get from that one. So you can just do print. Don't if you don't give this print, what happens? It is messy because what we are using Jython, this is the old version. That's why we need to give every time print statement.
To
Otherwise,
know to know the available functions in admin app or admin config. So what is the so we need to call help, okay?
this say help. It will give all the functions here. So whatever you are getting
That's
at the bottom, this is all the functions, related functions you can use.
okay.
Right? Okay, so we have this keyword. Whenever I want to use something, I want to write a program. I told you you can import in the command line interactive mode. Also, you can say import keyword. I can import. After importing, what I have to use, I have to print keyword dot kw list.
Means what is KW list function?
It's a list. It is going to have all the keywords.
Okay, okay. Right. So these keywords cannot be used as a variables, right?
Exactly. That is what I want to show you. So these are the variables which you should not use. Okay, whenever you are going
Yes,
to
that
say X, it
without
is
like
not
this.
there in the list. So this list is the important thing. So it is having limited values, not so many. So these
Right.
keywords you should not use in your variable assignments. Okay, and it is case sensitive. Suppose you are given X. Okay, so this variable is integer type. You can use a function called type and you can say X. What is the type of this one? It is a Python integer. It is saying Python integer object. X is a integer, but what kind of it is? It is a Python object. I told you
So
in the last session, everything is an object. In Python, everything is an object. It is converted from Java. Yeah.
in Java we call it as like int x equal to 10 semicolon, right? So
Yeah.
here you don't need to specify that. Just
You don't need to
assign the
specify.
value to the variable.
Data type you don't need to specify because it is a
So if you give
scripting
x
language.
equal to
Yeah.
right, if you give x equal to test, okay, that's going to be string, right?
Yeah.
So it should be always in single quotes, right?
Yeah. Strings always in single quotes. Again, you can test what is this X now. It is changed to Python string. And
Okay.
every time I'm getting the address identity, I'm getting memory address on the JVM.
Okay.
This member, whatever I'm getting, that is nothing but this ID. For every variable, X is the label, whatever just we have seen. First time we are given value 10, next time the value we are given test. Okay. So address, it is changing some big number. Then dynamically the type is changing. Initially it is PyInteger. After assigning the test, it is changed to PyString object. Right? So hope you understood how the variable works in the WSAdmin. So dynamically it is changing one type to another type.
So at one point, if we give x equal to 10,
Hmm.
so we can directly reuse that same variable and assign the new value, right? X equal to 20, X equal to
If
30,
there is a need in your script, definitely you can use that. Reuse.
then there should be an exclusion in the script execution, right? In one place you have given x equal to 10,
Hmm.
and the other place, based on the logic, you have given x equal to 20, right?
Yeah.
So how you are comparing these two variables
If
and assigning the same variable?
no,
So this,
assignment is possible. That is what I'm saying. Dynamically you can change, but it is not must to use the same X variable multiple times.
okay.
Okay, so
You can
you
also define a new variable.
yeah, you can use anything. You can have number of variables and you can use them. So this is how it will work. It is just dynamically changes. So variables are this capability because they are this is a scripting language. In normal programming language, you don't have this dynamic typing.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is no declaration required whenever you are using the variables. Okay, the variables are case sensitive. So just now I created X.
Declaration means
Just now you told right Java in language C language. You are
x
saying
equal to
int
something.
x is equal to 10 semicolon. So that int is not required here. I didn't given that. X is equal to 10 I have given automatically it is Python integer.
Right.
Right. So the variable names are sensitive. If you are going to give a variable server, another one is server as capital. These two are two different variables, not same. So case sensitive variables. So don't assume that some variable is very lengthy. If you have taken 2 3 words into that variable name, then follow the same whatever you are given at the starting. If you are changing one character also in capital to small letter to capital, definitely it doesn't work for you.
Oh, so this is for the variable one. It applies only for the variable, right?
Variable names and for the functions, any namespaces which you are going to
When
use in
we
the Jython.
declare x equal to 10, small x equal to 10, it should always continue as a small x if you want to
Yes.
use the same variable.
Yeah, here you have used x is equal to test. That is a string you are assigned. If I am going to use x
Mhm.
is equal to another string. Okay, so I can have x here, I can have x here. So both are two different values containing. Okay,
Mhm.
right. So moving ahead, the data types in WSAdmin, what kind of variables we can use other than normal primitive data types? Primitive, just now I told you, integer, that string. So same way you can have float variables. If there is a need, you can use that one. So PyFloat will be there, and string you just seen right, PyString. So if you want to convert some character data, then you are going to use the typecasting. So in other languages, you are going to use in Java. It is very big, lengthy code, whereas in Python, it is very simple. You want to convert some integer to string, then you have to use str. One character you want to convert, then chr. Okay, so these are all Python functions. Bool, boolean type. And Jython variables are very simple, easy to use. Numeric types, just Python integer you have seen. And string, just now Python string you can have, and you can convert with these functions. And other than this, what we have, there are sequences and collections. Data structures, we have learned in uh, previous courses, like when we are learned BTech or computer science courses, they have a number of data structures in that case. So if you don't know, don't worry much. I will explain this type of sequences. Sequence, it's a continuous thing. So collections, sequences, we have list is one type, tuple is another type, dictionary. In latest Python, we have sets also, but because Jython is not updated in wsadmin, we cannot use the sets. Okay, leave it. At the
So
moment, we'll understand only these three things: list, tuple, dictionary. Why you should use what is this contains. So if you see a C program or Java program, you have arrays. In Java, there
yeah,
are number of collection API objects, array
like
list, and
array list,
hash
arrays, and
maps, hash.
hash map.
So a lot of things are there. So all this comes to one same kind of categories. So here also Python provides simple three types. First one is list,
So
second one
in
is tuple.
Python, we
Yeah,
have only three. In Python, we have only three functions: list, tuples, and dictionaries.
a lot of functions are there, but for the collections we have these three things.
Okay. And at the above, you said like boolean type is represented as bool, right?
Hmm.
And number type is represented PyInteger or float.
Yeah.
So is that is a function or is that a variable,
Object,
something like that?
object, object,
Object.
objects, number
Means like
objects.
we call it.
You will see that one
How to
otherwise.
do? Can you tell me one example how to define like a boolean function, an
Eh,
object?
yeah, sure. So I'm going to give here. Um, I remember it should be okay, single code, I think. X true. Oh no, this is not taking. So in Jython, it is not up to date because it is using 0 and 1. Okay, we'll store one variable with true or false values. Okay, so what I do, 10 less than 5. So what is this is going to store? 0. 0 means false. If I'm going to use opposite, 10 greater than 5, it's a true. So now what x contains? 1. 1 is a true value. Okay, so 0 and 1 boolean type. Okay, so now x is just a boolean type. Sometimes it is going to give integer. Older versions of Python, yeah, it is giving integer. Yeah, so boolean is little bit confusing, but if you are going to use the conditional arguments, conditional statements, if you are storing, these are the values you have to consider: 0 and 1. Okay, so
So like
float
if we
also
want
means.
to implement the boolean function,
Hmm.
like we need to call boolean dot bool bracket, open brackets.
Yeah, bool bracket, converting any values you want to do, then it will do. Okay, we'll take y is equal to bool some. No, it is not accepting bool. Bool. Uh, I'll let you know. Tomorrow I'll find the actual syntax how to
Yeah,
pass.
probably we need to. I think we want to start writing the script
Yeah,
and work on it.
actually, the thing is, it's a older version of Python, so that's why what I use, it is latest version, so it is getting little bit conflicts. Okay, so fine, we'll have other set. So here we have sequences collections, that is three types. list, tuple, dictionary. So these are the three different objects which are more capabilities towards collection. So if you look at the list is it is going to have sequence of data just like arrays what we are going to store. You can have same kind of data into that, or you can have heterogeneous data. You can put string and integer float into one list. Okay, so same thing is possible with the tuple, but once you made one tuple you cannot change the this content. It's like constant. You cannot add new element to the tuple. Tuples are looks like same, but tuple is having extra feature. It makes fixed. You cannot insert any element into that. You cannot change. So whereas in arrays, what you do, you can add element where you can add at the end. But in list, you can add the element at the end, in the middle, and the starting. So these are the different features available with this collection list elements. And dictionaries are using internally a hash map kind of thing. It is going to have the key and value pairs. Okay, we'll see one by one in deeper level when we come to this sequences collection object variables. Okay, so here the naming conventions when you are going to use for your programs, there are different naming conventions. Functions, you are going to use functions or procedures, whatever you are going to name it, or modules you are going to say, methods you are going to say. That name you are going to use these four rules. Class name, it has to use the four rules. Variable name, you have to follow the four rules. Okay, you should not use reserved words, just we have seen that keywords. And variable names must start with alphabet. It should not start with any numbers. Okay, or you can start with underscore. This is also possible in most of our WebSphere default variables. What we are going to get outputs from there, you are getting underscore, double underscore sometimes. So underscore is allowed in naming conventions. Identifier names are case sensitive. You have seen that already. So it should not use any of the operators like plus symbol, percentage, underscore. Underscore is allowed. Other than that, any symbol which is doing some mathematical calculations, you should not use them. Okay, naming convention you have already seen. So boolean type, just now we have seen example, right? So this comparison, whenever you are comparing not only integer values, what else you can compare? You can compare with other sequences objects also. Okay, so true values, false values you can compare here. So greater than, less than or equal to, in is one of the operator, not is another operator which can be used for giving the result in boolean type. Okay, so this is a tuple. 1 2 3 is a tuple. So tuples are given in round brackets. List is given in square brackets like this. Okay, so one in tuple, yes, it is true. Not zero, not zero is a one. So that is a true. Okay, so here another set, equality checking. So equality you can check for this one. I forgot this. What to edit? I forgot. Okay, so here the symbols you can check the strings. You can compare. You can compare list, two lists. You can compare. You can compare your dictionary elements, key and values you can compare. Okay, so these are the values you can compare. Then if you look at the false, where you are going to get the false, is it like this, 1 comma 2 both are values which are stored in the ram or in the jvm in different locations. So whenever you said is, then it is looking for the memory. Whenever you are saying in, it is looking inside the memory. Okay, so if you are using is, it is going to compare the memory locations. Definitely it will be stored in different locations. That's why it is going to give the result as false. Okay, so
The memory starts from zero, right? Zero, one, two.
Just now we have seen the different addresses. It's a big number. This is the integer number. Memory address. It is every time new numbers you are going to get there. So different values. If you are going to say is means it is going to take the memory and compare that one. So is it the same address or not? So definitely new value every time it is going to allocate that new memory address, even though you are using the same values in that uh, list or dictionary. Okay, so is here you can assign assignment of any variable is true. Assignment is here. These two are assignments and it is true. It is fine. So A is B, it is true because both are pointing to the same address. Why? Because B is equal to A we are given, that address is pointing to the same. Okay, so none is
B
one
get
of,
you like B equal to A is B, how it is going to be true?
okay, A is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. So this is a list. A is a list.
Okay.
Okay, what we have, what is the address of this one? We can say id of A and B is equal to A, id of B. So both are having the same address, right? This is clear. Then if I am going to say, sorry, x is equal to A is B. So what is x now? X is true. So what it is looking? It is looking for the address, memory address. So id is a function that will give you the address of the variable object. Why you are getting this true? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So none is one of the data type. Whenever if you see C program, you are going to say nil, and in Java null pointer exceptions we have seen so many times. So if you want to skip that one, you are going to check that null value. So here in Python, in Jython, you are going to use none. If one of the object is not really pointing to something value, then you want to check. You can check with the none. So if it is not returning anything, then you want to do something. So that if conditions requires this one, or while loop or for loop requires this one. So none is none. So just you are checking the variable. That's no meaning actually. So none is one type of constant null value, system defined none value. And any integer value you can compare, any string value you can compare, and that will give the true value. Okay, so hope you understood the boolean type comparisons which you can use in if conditions when you are going to construct. Okay, then normally these are the different types, data types. You can see integer type. Whenever you use two functions, right? One is id function, and the one is type function that will actually gives the idea about how to use. These are Python outputs. I don't prefer to execute. Okay, so we will see one float variable. We are not seeing that. So f is equal to, I just want to give 10.3. So what is the type of this one? F. Yeah, it is giving PyFloat, not normal float. And if you're going to see the address, it's a new address, new memory location. Every time new. Okay, so you have any questions? Before going to sequences, I will stop sequences for the next session. Um,
Can
maybe
you tell me how you applied the int function in the previous line?
int function? No, this one, casting, converting. Okay, just
No, why it is float again?
okay. Let me do that. So f is a float, you know, right now. in the f, if I want to convert I is equal to int bracket f, this f is a earlier float, now it will become integer type. I can see type I, right? So integer type. What it contains? I contains 10 only. 10.3 we have the value. It is taken only integer data and it is stored.
So we don't have double data type in this language, in scripting language.
Double we have actually pi double, but
Generally, float is not used in the client layers. Right? There is a large bulk of data we use double, right?
you see,
So we,
Python is constructed with small data set, data types, not going to have too many things. And it is having huge capability to store any kind of data. Biggest number also you can store in this Python integer object. That's why Python is used in NASA also to calculate distances between star to star.
oh, in NASA, okay.
Yeah, so NASA they are using calculations or computing is using Python, Python language. Biggest numbers you can use. Yeah, longest numbers you can use, and you can store. L means long,
Yeah, so
long integer.
long is one more data type, right?
Yeah,
Integers.
biggest
Float,
number,
integer, float, long, double.
double. So that is C style, C programming style. But types are only basic types. You have only basic types. You don't have another type here. So you can store within the same integer variable. You can store L long type also. You can store into the same variable, integer variable only. Biggest number you can store in the integer. Within I can store, normally integer will store, there is a specific limit, right? 65,000 only it can store in the normal integer C program or Java program. So you can have like this. Automatically converted. PyLong.
Pawan, if you don't mind, can you just re-implement again?
Sorry?
Can you just re-implement again?
Which one? Slide?
The float.
Float.
Yeah.
Float you want to type. Okay, FEC.
No, just the calculation you implemented now.
Okay.
Okay.
Float. Everything goes to float. So double is not there. I hope.
So double data does not exist in float.
Yeah, float it will take care. Double type of
So
words.
how about long?
Long is there. PyLong is there, right?
Can we give long?
Long.
Long.
Yeah. Yeah, long is there.
So it calculates the float value into long and gives the output.
Float value into long. Yeah, it is converted right here. The float value is converted to long. Long type is displayed here. So all after the decimal, it is
So if
moved
you type L, it goes on memory.
long. The last character L indicates long type.
Yeah, can you type L? type of cell. Okay. Email now.
Okay, fine. I'll stop here. So you have a question with your system, right? So I'm making you as a presenter now. I hope you don't record. You don't need recording this one.